it's MerryPippin again, and welcome back to another Hytale news video. Today we're going to cover a few different topics so that we can cover as many of your suggested topics as possible. First up, we're going to update you all with what's been happening over the last few weeks in case you missed it. After the sound blog post was made, someone addressed the dying hype and actually got a response. Twitter user BayHiveBoss tweeted, "Y'all should really start doing something except for teasing on Twitter. A second trailer, or at least a short teaser, would be cute because the hype is slowly dying." One of the lead developers, Simon, had this to say, "We are working on the game. That's what we are doing. There is no need to keep the hype thrusters to 110%. We can do that before the release." He continued, "Does not matter at all to us to keep the hype levels 100% for months. We are dedicated to making a good game, and it's where our focus is. A lot of people signed up for beta and are just waiting. That's okay. As we get closer to beta, we will ramp up trailer production and such. If you look up any video game announcement, it's always like that. When it first gets announced, people are excited, sign up, and the hype is high. Then there's a waiting time while the people who work hard on the game for players to enjoy. It's just normal. That's why the release date is when it's ready. We have funds, support, and the people to make it happen. We just need the community to be patient and enjoy the journey with us." So, what do you guys think of this response? The community at this point seems to be split between those that are content waiting as long as it takes for a quality game and those that are losing interest altogether. If you'd like to be part of the hype community, don't forget to join our Discord with the link in the description. We think once blog post production starts ramping up and posts are more frequent, we'll begin to know when we're close to a release date announcement at the very least. But, for the time being, the hype thrusters are definitely on a cooldown. More recently, there has been a spotlight on dogs in Hytale in the Twitterverse. The official Hytale posted a picture of the Hytale Corgi we'll come to know and love running through a glade, and Simon suggested that they needed to add more dogs. This might be confirming some people's theories that they only have one domesticated dog skin with variation in colors only, meaning only one breed excluding wild wolves, but perhaps now there will be other furry breeds to choose from. Dog lovers rejoice! But wait, there's more. Noxie let us know that we can count on the ability to pet our dogs in Hytale. Groundbreaking stuff. Details like this are what will set Hytale apart, even if we don't see it until a future update. And, finally, Brazilian fans of Hytale have been recognized by Simon. According to their analytics, Brazil is the most actively engaged demographic viewing official Hytale videos and, of course, making great news channels of their own. It's so nice to see developers excited about their fan base as much as we are for their game. Moving on now to some speculation, let's talk about the possibilities for Hytale in consoles. The console market is a very controlled space that is really for established teams, meaning for an indie developer such as Hypixel Studios, there are a few more hurdles between them and Hytale and consoles that include licensing and added costs. There are shortcuts to this, like software such as XN8, but then the developers also have to consider things like which consoles to release on, its own business plan and marketing strategy, and, most importantly, how it will affect the community. So far, we know that Hytale is being released on PC and that they are aiming to make the game playable on low-spec laptops with integrated GPUs. Why is this important? Well, low-spec requirements make the game accessible to people who don't have more expensive hardware. For a game like Hytale with such a broad market appeal, this is really important to its success. Moreover, consoles are cheaper still and more prevalent in an average household. As Minecraft demonstrated, if you can successfully crack the console market, you are forced to be reckoned with in the industry. And the same goes for mobile. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of PC gaming elements can transition over to other platforms quite easily. The difficulty is in simulating an experience that is just as engaging with an optimized version of the game, particularly if we're talking about phones and tablets, and, of course, different controls. Some argue that the fall of Minecraft was partially due to the rise of Bedrock Edition, which stifled community servers due to the lack of people that were using chat. So essentially, Hytale needs to choose its platforms wisely and maintain the essence of what will originally be a PC game with controls that are intuitive and social interactivity. That's a lot, right? But we know from the event at EGX Res that they will be exploring consoles sooner rather than later, leaving a lot of people curious about what a VR Hytale will be like. If you haven't seen our coverage of that event, you can check it out in the description below. Lastly, we're going to talk just a little bit about zone speculation, which you guys have also requested. Thank you so much for the great ideas. We're not going to say too much because, well, 1, we don't have much information to speculate from, and 2, it's likely we'll see these zones in more depth in future updates, maybe even after beta depending on the developer timeline, so it could be a while away. Our reason for thinking this is mostly due to the finishing touches we saw in Zone 3, as it was called a work in progress. Nonetheless, based on our current information, we know that each zone that has been revealed corresponds to a Hytale element. Zone 1 is Earth, Zone 2 is Wind, Zone 3 is Water, and Zone 4 is most likely to be Fire based on the giant volcano. Looking at the mysterious thunderclouds over Zone 5, it's safe to assume that this will correspond with the Lightning element, leaving only the Void element for Zone 6. So this tells us a little bit about the ranking order for elements, as well in terms of how the game progresses and what materials we might find easy to obtain at the start that are eventually replaced or strengthened with other elements. One theory that has been brought up a few times is the idea that Zone 5 and 6 might not even be on planet Orbis. If you look at the color palette for the other planets, the screenshot and what we know of elements so far seems to suggest that that could be the case. On the same screenshot, you can also see only 4 zones have been previewed on the Orbis cutout instead of more censored Mysteria blobs. Which then leads us to how many zones will other planets have? It's hard to imagine there being more than 16 zones across the Hytale universe, but it's certainly possible. And then of course we have some mysteries, like where the Void Dragon and corrupted golems will show up. Will we be able to defeat the Void and watch its effects slowly recede and return the zone to an original form like Zone 1 or 4? And what will the cave systems be like? There appears to be some glowing yellow deposits in Zone 6, as well as glowing waterfalls of deep purples. It's certainly a cool concept that leaves us wondering what we're in for when the game releases. What are you most looking forward to in the coming months as we wait for more updates? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, drop a like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell if you want to keep up with everything Hytale. We'll see you in the next video!